Holy cannoli, guys. It is frigid out here. But we're back at it, getting her done. So what we have left here is we got to finish up the center console, get that all buttoned up, and then get the driver's seat in and get it all wired up and finally finish this project. I feel like I haven't driven my Ranger in like a week, as you can tell by the snow being plowed around me. So yeah, I should probably get it going. Alright guys, so now we get to talk about the fun stuff, which is wiring, everybody's favorite thing. It's really simple, and if you look in the description, there's going to be a link to where I got my notes for this, but it's super simple. Basically, all these wires that are over here are just memory stuff, so unless you want the memory seats and have the switch from the Explorer, then I wouldn't worry about those at all. So we have 3 categories, just like the passenger seat. We got our 12-volt run position, so this is going to go to a fuse that only goes on when the key is on. And so what you got there is your yellow and gray wire, gray and yellow wire, and a red and black wire. From there we have our ground. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, but not too bad. You have your all black, which is your normal ground stuff, and then you have the smaller gauge black and white wire. So there's 2 black and white wires. Here's the other black and white wire. There. And there's that one here, if I can get the camera to focus. But what you'll notice is that this one is a smaller gauge than that one. It's hard to see on the camera. But the smaller gauge one goes to the ground. So you can just tie those together. The last one is your 30 amp fused one. And what you got in there is that larger gauge black and white wire, a green and yellow wire, and a blue and white wire. Make sure when you're doing it that it's the large gauge blue and white wire. There's another blue and white wire here, but it's the smaller one, and that one is not the right one. That one's for the memory seats over here. So yeah, I'm gonna put you on time lapse while I strip all these and get them wired together, and then we're gonna wire them to the passenger one and send it to the fuse panel. Let's do it. All right, guys, so what I did here was, this is my ground wire. I labeled it with 2 painter's tape marks, but I just put a little O-ring on it there, electrical outlet. And then on the one over here, I did the same thing for the ground. I'm gonna wrap that up with electrical tape, of course, some shrink wrap maybe. And then under this carpet here, this is gonna be kind of hard to show you, but we'll get in there the best we can. Hold on 1 second. Freaking had it on this stand and it's blocking me from doing this, but there's a bolt right there. It's a ground. So what I'm gonna do is loosen that up, take it out, and run both those eyelets through there. And that should be ground for me. And the other ones, I'm just gonna twist these together with their coordinating partners over there. And then on the other end of that butt splice, I'm gonna run the wires under the carpet, up the kick panel here, and find my fuses. And we'll go over that once I get to that point. Well, what the heck? How long are you? Come on. Please. There she goes. Seemed a lot longer. All right, so while I was putting these wires together, I realized that twisting all of the 30 amp fused ones, hot powered ones, twisting all of those 2 together, that does not fit in the butt splice, which is probably for good reason. So I have decided to split them into 2 and then connect them into 1 once I'm done. I'll show you how I do that. I mean, it's really simple, but basically just to fit them in the butt splice, I'm going to do them separately. So yeah, I'll put you back on time lapse here. But as you can see here, the 2 grounds I ran into that bolt. So when it comes time, I can just run it under the carpet and to that. So there we go. And then the 12 volt ones are already in a butt splice. There was only 3 wires there, so that one went in pretty easy. It's just this one with 5 wires that was like way too much. So yeah, we're getting there. Back to time lapse. Alrighty, so what we got here is a complete and utter mess. But we have the two grounds hooked together on this stud down here. Not stud, but a bolt. With little ring washers there. So that's the ground from the passenger and the ground from the driver's seat here. I still got to wrap those up in some tape here. Got all the memory stuff just wrapped up so they don't touch each other. They weren't stripped, so it should be all right there. And we got our 12 volt here and our 30 amp here. And yeah, we got them ran down here. So they're both down there. They're gonna run up through here, past the kicker, up through that little hole, and we get them tapped into there. So hold by for that. Alrighty guys, so what we got here, the single wire adapted to a ADA circuit here. That's going to be our 12 volt accessory on, so when the key turns on. So I got to find a fuse that has power when the key's turned on. That's what that's going to go to. This guy is just going to be anything 30 amp fused, just constant power. So I just got to find the fuses for those and plug them in. I'll show you when I get there. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I figured her out. So what I had to do was I had to put a 5 amp fuse in the outside part of that circuit. I'm not sure if that's pretty normal or what, but as you can tell, the car's running and we got power, we got heat, both passenger and driver. So I think we're doing all right. But yeah, so I just flipped this guy upside down. Maybe it was in backwards, but I got the 30 amp in the first slot and the 5 amp in the outer slot. I wanted to go as low as possible because if I blow a fuse, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to catch fire. So yeah, it wasn't starting at first, so I had to keep diagnosing until I got there. But yeah, this is the solution I came up with. So that 25 and 5 is faced upwards in the 19 slot. This guy's faced downwards in the, I can't remember. This slot right here, I think it's 25 maybe, I'm not sure. And they both have, this one has a 30 and a 5, and one has a 25 and a 5. So I think we're all set. I'm gonna start buttoning everything up and cleaning it up, and yeah, we'll go from there. Alrighty guys, so we're pretty much finished up here. Take a look here. I still got to put some of the sill plate back on, the rocker kicker panel thing over there and over there back on, but let's take a look here. It looks dang good. I got the key on right now, so forward, back, heated turns on, lumbar works. So I still got to get a shifter. And I got to figure out a way to make this thing not as rattly. I secured it really well. I'm not sure why it's so squeaky, but I got to figure that out because that's going to drive me insane. But yeah, pretty much all done here. The one thing, so let's take a look here. All right, so here's the driver's side. So I ended up making my ground too short. That went to that little... If you remember back there, I don't have this bolted in all the way because I got to take it back out. But I went all the way back on the seat and it popped the ground off. So now I don't really have access to the back bolts. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I gotta figure out a way to get that ground wire and ground it so I can move it forward, or figure out a way to get at those bolts, but it's almost impossible even with a socket. I might have to get an Allen key and just cut it maybe to fit. So yeah, that's what happened there. So at least it's in a position that I can still drive. That's my driving position, but I want the heat and the power to work still. So I ended up having to go with 25 amp fuses because it kept blowing the 5 amps, the 10 amps. I tried a 15 and it blew too. So we went 25 and it's working great. I just have to, you know, get this figured out. But yeah, this is it. I love it. The center console is so comfortable to rest your arm on. The shifter works great. Just got to get a boot for it. Put everything back together. But yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. And if there's anything you want to see, like maybe like a full tour of my truck, all the things I have done to it, just let me know in the comments if that's something you guys be interested in. I have, not for a bumper, I just ordered a Warren Witch for. I'll be doing an install of that. And then as well, I'm going to be doing a full topper camper build, building a platform for storage, and then making it a full camper. Right now it's just got all kinds of junk in it, just trash and old used parts. But yeah, if you guys are interested in a camper build for the Ranger, just let me know. Thanks for watching. See you next time.